In the winter of 1959, deep in the frozen lands of the Soviet Union, a group of young hikers began a journey that would later become one of the most famous and mysterious cases in modern history. These hikers were strong, intelligent, and full of energy. They were not beginners. They were experienced mountaineers who had faced the cold and dangerous mountains before. But this time, their adventure turned into a tragedy that no one has been able to fully explain even after more than 60 years. This story is known today as the Dyatlov Pass Incident. It is a story of mystery, strange events, and unanswered questions. The group, was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student. He was respected for his leadership and his skills in the mountains. Along with him were 8 other students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They were young, between 20 and 24 years old, and they all loved adventure. At first, there were 10 hikers, but one of them, Yuri Yudin, became sick during the journey and had to turn back. He was disappointed, but in the end, this decision saved his life. The 9 hikers who continued were the ones who never returned. Their goal was to reach Otorten Mountain, a very remote and cold place in the northern Ural Mountains. The area was difficult to cross, but it was also exciting for them. They carried skis, tents, diaries, and cameras to record their journey. In late January, the group traveled by train and truck until they reached the last village. From there, they moved forward on skis. At first, everything was going well. They took photos, wrote in their diaries, and were in good spirits. But then, the weather became worse. The temperatures dropped to minus 30 degrees Celsius. Snowstorms made it difficult to see. Still, they pushed on. On February 1st, they set up their tent on the slope of a mountain called Kholat Syakhl. The name of this mountain in the local Mansi language means Mountain of the Dead. The name itself added to the mystery later. That night, something terrible happened. The disappearance. The hikers were supposed to return by February 12th. When they did not arrive, their families grew worried. At first, officials thought there was just a delay. But after several more days without any news, search and rescue teams were sent. On February 26th, rescuers finally found the group's tent. What they saw shocked them. The tent was badly damaged and cut open from the inside. The hikers had torn it themselves, trying to escape in a hurry. Their shoes, clothes, and belongings were still inside the tent. It looked like they had left in panic. But why? No one knew. The bodies. Over the next weeks, the search teams began to find the hikers' bodies. 2 bodies were discovered about 1.5 kilometers from the tent, near a forest. They were dressed only in their underwear, with no shoes. It looked like they had run into the snow without any protection. 3 more bodies were found between the forest and the tent. It seemed like they were trying to return to the camp, but never made it. The last 4 bodies were discovered 2 months later, buried under snow in a ravine. These bodies showed even stranger injuries. 1 hiker had a fractured skull. 2 others had broken ribs. 1 woman was missing her tongue. Even more mysterious, the clothes of some hikers showed radiation. Theories and explanations. Investigators were shocked. They tried to explain what happened, but every theory only raised more questions. Avalanche theory. The official report said the hikers ran because of an avalanche. But experts later argued that the slope was not steep enough for a big avalanche, and if there had been one, why did some hikers have strange injuries and radiation on their clothes? military tests. Some people believe the Soviet Army was secretly testing weapons in that area. Maybe the hikers were caught in those tests by accident. This could explain the radiation. But the government never admitted to any testing there. Paranormal and Yeti theory. Local legends talked about a mysterious creature living in the mountains. Some people thought a wild animal or even a Yeti had attacked the hikers. But no footprints or signs of such a creature were found. UFO theory. Other witnesses claimed they saw bright lights in the sky that night. Could it have been a UFO? Some believe the hikers saw something they were not supposed to see. But again, no solid evidence was ever found. Each theory explains a little, but none explains everything. Closing the case. In the end, the Soviet government closed the case. The official cause of death was written as a strong natural force. That was all. No clear answers, no real explanation. Decades later, in 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case. But again, they returned to the avalanche theory, even though many scientists and experts disagreed. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. Legacy of the mystery. The Dyatlov Pass Incident is not just a story of death. It is a story that shows how much we still don't understand about nature, about human fear, and maybe about things beyond our world. 9 young hikers went into the mountains full of life, laughter, and hope. Their photos show smiling faces, unaware that this would be their last journey. Their sudden and strange deaths left behind a trail of questions that no one has been able to answer. Even today, people from around the world study their diaries, their photos, and the evidence from the case. Books, documentaries, and even movies have been made about it. Everyone has their own theory, but the truth lies hidden in the snowy mountains of Russia. Perhaps one day we will finally know what really happened on that dark, freezing night. Or perhaps this mystery will stay forever frozen in time. Final words. The Dyatlov Pass Incident reminds us of the power of nature, the limits of human knowledge, and the deep mysteries that the world still holds. Were the hikers victims of an avalanche, of secret military tests, of something not from this earth? No one knows for sure. What we do know is that 9 young lives ended in a way that continues to haunt the world. And until the truth is discovered, the Dyatlov Pass will always remain a place of unanswered questions.